When I walk up in the club and sing, everybody want to know my name. Yeah, here comes the glass road. Yeah, here comes the glass road. I got a new lens. I was gonna try it out tonight when the lights were down, but then I realized I have a neutral density filter, so I can try to do it during the bright hours, and maybe I'm gonna get a good video. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of excited about it. What I'm actually talking about right now is how long the FBI has known that there's no Austin Bomber confession, and how long the ATF has known and the DEA has known. I'm talking about the whole organization. Because before, the FBI and probably the DEA, and definitely the ATF, and definitely the Austin Police Department, at least the people in charge, knew that there was no Austin Bomber confession because they were involved with framing Mark Anthony Condit for the Austin bombings. And now it's been an entire year that I blew up everyone from the FBI on Twitter. I was like, there's no Austin Bomber confession. And I was relentless. And I constantly contacted these people. And that was one of the reasons I thought that this guy faked like he was drawing a gun on me, is because he was trying to stop me from talking about that sort of thing on Twitter. So now it's been an entire year. And I sent out a letter to every single ATF office, every DEA office, every FBI office, every Secret Service office. I sent it to so many people. And still, what has happened? We don't know anything about the Austin Bomber. We don't know anything about the Austin Bomber. We don't know anything. Well, actually, no one's called me. No one's contacted me. And what I'll tell you is what happens to a person's... What happened to me after they murdered and framed this guy for terrorism is that I realized that they could do it to me, that they could do it to us. And I'm sure a lot of you guys heard what I told the Austin Bomber's friend, which was, if you guys try to start a civil war, we'll just release a biological weapon. And you thought, wow, that's kind of a psychotic thing to say to someone. And what I'll tell you is, we're not going to get into a shooting war with the cops. A lot of these cops want that to happen. In my opinion, Sutherland Springs was a cop or someone affiliated with the police. In my opinion, Thousand Oaks, California was a cop or someone affiliated with the police. In my opinion, the guy from Las Vegas, the Las Vegas shooter, he was a cop or he was affiliated with the police. In my opinion, the Monterey Music Festival shooter, he was a cop or he was affiliated with the police. The police have this thing where they shoot all the time, and they like shooting all the time. And they tend to have a higher violence or higher tendency towards violence than normal people. They fight, they practice fighting. They are all about self-defense. They're martial artists. When they're undercover, they love fighting because they know that no one will ever out their cover. Like, their covers are secure. You can't out someone's cover. If you out his cover, then you're outing everyone else. So what I'm trying to tell you is, our government has a serious problem, and our country has a serious problem. And is that problem COVID-19? It is, obviously. But more than anything, it's the federal agents who, when are they going to talk? When are they going to tell the truth? They're letting this guy, they're letting the Colorado Springs Police Department frame me to the point that I'm going to be declared incompetent, even though they know I'm competent. If there's anything they know is that I'm a competent person. They know me very well. Pretty much my best friend during college said he worked for the FBI. I'm talking about grad school. So they know me. They know I'm competent. But when are the cops going to talk? It's probably going to be once the media comes out with stories. So the cops are going to I'm talking about hundreds of them, are going to keep it quiet that I've been very emphatic you should not take the Pfizer vaccine. If anything, you can take the Moderna vaccine. And they're going to keep it very quiet until the news starts talking about it. And who knows when the news is going to talk about it, because the news is in cahoots with the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee. And there are only two political parties. I mean, we don't have very much diversity of thought if you haven't noticed it. You can't be someone that thinks on their own nowadays. You have to be one way or the other. But all I'm saying is, I think I do have a little bit of a psychological issue in my life, or I have psychological problems. I have some serious PTSD from people faking like they're drawing guns on me, from people threatening me, from people stalking me, from people murdering and framing people, and then I feel helpless because I catch this guy. I should be a hero. There was a reward, a very large reward that I was supposed to receive when I caught the Austin bomber, and I never received the award. I mean, seriously, that's what happened. And I don't know, like once you find out that law enforcement is that group of people, then you have to ask yourself, why are that way? Why are they that way? And the answer is they're a criminal organization. The FBI is a criminal organization. They protect themselves. They protect one another. When you go to a courtroom and there's an FBI agent, never trust them. You should never trust that the FBI is not lying, because chances are like when you talk about the right to be confronted with witnesses in the Constitution, that's the last rule that they adhere to, because they have all these undercovers. The undercovers aren't going to have to be outed. The undercovers can't be outed. They're protected. So you're not going to be confronted with witnesses. They're undercover. We have to protect their identity. And all I'm saying is there are people that are a bunch of psychopaths that are that against drugs. Like, it's hard to explain how against drugs some of these people are. Their entire existence is being against drugs. And that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. And once you understand that, then you start to understand the psychology of federal agents, which is all that exists to these people is like the fact that you might do drugs. And if you do drugs, you're a terrible person. So when they hire people, I just saw this, the CIA and the FBI, apparently, the biggest group of people they hire from are Mormons. And if you know anything about Mormons, I know you guys know my last name's Mormon, but if you know anything about Mormons, what is their belief system? The dumbest shit you've ever heard in your life. You should watch the South Park episode all about Mormons. Like you can probably watch it on YouTube right now if you type in all about Mormons or South Park Mormons. It's dumb. Like it's like the dumbest religion ever, but then they recruit from this group of people that have no logic, but it's because they speak languages well. And so, like, I mean, does that mean I have a problem with Mormons? I actually have this thing where I always think that someday I'm going to end up faking like I'm a Mormon and moving to Utah and going and finding a Mormon girl and having a peaceful life where I don't have to deal with the drugs, because I'm pretty sure Utah has very few drugs that run through it, and I don't have to worry about federal agents threatening me all the time, and I don't have to worry about terrible things happening to me. And because I have this dream where I don't have to be around the feds. Like someday when I get money, when the feds stop censoring my YouTube, which how many views have I had? 0 views on my Austin Bomber video yesterday is how many I had. 0 people watched it. How many views did I have on my videos about creating this online education program for phylogenetic research, or for creating all these phylogeneticists? 0 views on both of them. So what I'm doing is pointless. I contacted 400 freaking federal law enforcement offices. No one has taken time to watch my YouTube videos at all. None of them. It's because I'm so crazy that there's an Austin Bomber confession, I promise. We just can't release it even though he's a lone wolf terrorist. Yeah. It's because the cops are dirty on that large of a scale. And the only way that they're going to actually start talking is when the news starts talking. Because I'm just saying there is something about the psychology of these people that is like, they're nasty people. They're bad people. It's kind of like politicians that beg for money 20 hours a week. The good ones quit. The bad ones stay and get to the top and take control of everything. So, I'm sorry I'm talking so much. I'm out of here. I want to see if this video worked out. This new lens, hopefully I look prettier. Keep my fingers crossed. I'm sorry I'm so depressing today, but you have to understand, when someone murders and frames someone for terrorism and you know exactly who the real terrorist was, it makes you feel afraid because you think to yourself, are they going to murder me and frame me for terrorism? Because, I mean, really, they would. If they could, they would. The problem is, I think that there are people that like me. My brother says no one likes me. That's what he told me the other day. He said, like, I'm about to start my job, and he's like, people have to actually like you to do your job. And I said, no, they don't. Like, all I have to do is do my job. Like, they don't have to talk to me. And it was like, I thought that people used to like me. I mean, they did. But the problem is when you rock the boat enough, people don't like you. When you talk about the cops murdering and framing someone for terrorism, I know it. You have to understand, I know it. Because I caught the guy. I saw the way he was acting. He was erratic. He was trying to fight everyone. He wouldn't shut up about the queers in Austin. He hated the queers. And surprise, surprise, the FBI and the feds tend to be a bunch of conservatives that hate queers. Wow, that's a surprise. Who wants to be a cop? Radical conservatives. I mean, the week before, I met another guy from Oklahoma who said that everyone from his town's Ku Klux Klan. And it was weird because this brown girl was friends with him and she liked him. And I was like, how is this brown girl with this guy? I was like, this is weird. And they were trying to get me to leave with them. And I was like, well, why are these people trying to get me to leave with them? But I mean, they were offering me pot to go leave with them. And I was like, no. It was a very weird time in my life. Anyways, I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a good day.